So this morning we are chatting to Shamira from Rush. Shamira is the operations manager at Rush, and I've asked her to chat to us today because I feel like Rush is one of those businesses that just get it right when it comes to hiring, training, staffing. And I know that that is something that so many of our boss mum community is kind of looking through at the moment, wondering about, trying to learn. I know that you all agree with me that when you go to one of the Rush branches, you really do feel like the staff are welcoming, they're motivated, they radiate just energy and care and passion. And as mums, we know that children are not easy, but somehow the Rush staff do get it right. So I'm really excited to have this conversation, to learn from Shamira, to learn about the ways that we can train and hire a little bit better. A reminder that Rush is one of the partners of the Parent Hub, and just to please offer them support. Something that Shamira does mention in the interview is the importance of Google reviews and how they learn and how they keep their staff motivated. But check out their website, see what they have on offer. They have amazing promotions and date nights and bingo nights and all these incredible things that you can have a look through. So yeah, here's the conversation. Good morning, Shamira. I am so excited
Hi.
to have you here today. So I want to start with just you introducing yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do. We know already you are from the Rush team. And I'd love to know a little bit about what you do at Rush and why you feel like that is an important part of business and of life.
Okay, so I'm Shamira Taufi. I am the park manager for Rush in Claremont. I've been working for Rush since the 28th of October 2015. So I've been at Rush for a very long time. I'm in charge of daily operations. That's the best way to sum up what I do. Mm.
Okay. So today the whole reason that I really wanted to chat to you is because I feel like, and I don't know many other businesses that really have this right the way that Rush does, but your staff and your team and the people that are involved in Rush. When you walk into any of your branches, your staff have this, they radiate energy and motivation and enthusiasm like I haven't quite seen before in an establishment. So I want to know from someone on the inside, how do you do that? Is it more of a hiring process that you are really hiring the right person, or is there a training in place that you are, or an incentive program where you are really encouraging people to do that? Tell us your secrets. How do you get these staff members that really do radiate enthusiasm and motivation and passion and love for their jobs?
I think it comes with a name. If you think of Rush, you think of a place of fun. So besides it being a fun place, it's also the way we recruit. We do group recruitment.
Okay.
So it's anything between eight and 15 people. We all come together, we introduce ourselves. So there's usually myself and another leader, or one or two leaders that work with me as part of my team because I look after the senior team. And we introduce ourselves to make them comfortable. And we actually do active play throughout our recruitment. So we're getting them on the trampolines physically. We're showing them some of the skills we have and why we are employed at Rush. We give them some information on Rush, how long we've been open as a company, who the leaders are, what our roles are. And then we just leave it open for them to ask us questions. So we look at things like their capabilities, their skills. We look at, are they active people? If they aren't active people, are they interested in being active? We look at the attitudes, walking into Rush. We look at aptitude. We look at just overall as a person, would they fit our brand of fun, and safe park? Goal driven is another thing that is important to us. We're not looking to hold people to working at Rush. We want to know that could Rush be a stepping stone for them, for their futures. So you'll notice that a lot of the people that work with us are students. They're younger, more of youth, if that makes sense.
Amazing. So two things that you've said that really like put a light bulb in my head. First, this idea as you're talking, I feel like you really know what you're looking for in your team members, and I think that that's really important for people who are running businesses to know before hiring. And it sounds simple and easy, but I've just gone through the hiring process and I didn't really know what I was looking for before.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. What you've said is you are looking for people that walk in there who are fun and have energy and hold themselves in the correct way. You are looking for people from the beginning that
Mm.
have the inequalities that represent Rush. And I think that's really important for businesses to do. Know who you want to represent your business before they come into the hiring process. And secondly, the whole idea of, I think the majority of us are hiring online rather than, I love the idea that you are hiring in group settings and you're making them
Mm.
come in, you're making them do the things, you're taking that time and that energy to really find the correct fits. So I love that. What do you think is more important than hiring or training?
I think they're equally important. I think that firstly, you should know who you're hiring. And secondly, you should be able to give them the tools that they need to do the job correctly. This has taken years for us to get to this point, to know what type of person we would employ at Rush, what our culture would look like at Rush. It takes a lot of brainstorming. It takes a lot of training as leadership as well. I can't take all the credit for this because I've got a very good team that equally know who they would like to
Mm.
work in their teams, in their departments. So it has taken a while for us to get to this point. And I'm only the park manager for not that long, I think since November last year. So there's a lot of change that had to happen for us to get to this.
Well, that's amazing and very comforting to know because I think so
So,
many of us have really struggled in the hiring journey. And so I want to chat about the idea of motivation because I think so often you can hire people based on what they do show in those first few interviews or the first few times that they come in. But motivation dies quite quickly. And I think, particularly in a setting like Rush, where you need a lot of motivation, you need a lot of
mm,
energy. And I mean, I walk in there with three children, and I know for myself, I use those opportunities as an opportunity for a mum to sit back and relax. And I'm like, you guys do your thing with my children. And I feel like the staff really stand up to the plate with that.
mm,
So, what kind of processes or systems or trainings do you have in place that really keep your staff motivated and you can tell that they are naturally motivated because
mm.
none of them are kind of sitting in the back being like, oh, I hope I'm not seen here. They all rush in and they're like, hey, can I help you? Hey, Callie, Blake. They're all really proactive in making fun and engagement for children that I don't think is easy all the time. So what are
No,
your kind of systems to keep that motivation up?
that's a very difficult one, and it's something that we still work on. So I think for us, communication is a big thing, and it's something that we work on all the time. Just showing them what communication could look like, what's good communication, what's effective communication. Also, just giving them examples of how that would look like in our city. So, when we move from our group recruitment, we move into a trial shift. So they don't actually know what they're stepping into when they're working at Rush. You just see the outside of it. You see when you walk into the park, this is where you have fun. You don't know a lot of what the back end processes look like. So we've got more than one department, obviously, and we put them in the specific department that we're recruiting for. And we allow them to kind of see what it would look like on a shift for that day. And equally, we can see if this would be a good place for them to work.
Mm.
And that happens very early on. It's like one or two shifts at most. And then from trial shifts, they move on to meeting our general manager or director. His name is Damon. He goes through screening. So like a few questions that he asks them again about their abilities, their goals, what they're doing in life, what their plan is. if they're successful on that end, we would then move to actually training them. This would mean working in each department, and from there they can let us know, okay, I wanted to work courts because I thought that courts would be a fun place, but I didn't know that the cafe would be such a fun place. So I didn't know that working at reception would be a fun place. And then from there, we incentivize. So, especially during our busy periods, I think that's where they need it the most, because we can have between 80 and 130 people in our park per hour. And that could get a bit much for a lot of people. So we look at Google reviews, we look at how many times a staff member's name is mentioned, and from there they could win a cash prize. And then we also do incentives in each department. So like for cafe, we would do it on sale. So how much of a combo you sell during school holidays, and you could win a hamper. So there's something new that we're trying to do with the staff all the time. And then also just getting feedback from them in the form of surveys. What worked, what didn't work? Was there breaks in communication where leadership was concerned? Give us some, what's the word I'm looking for? Give us feedback on the way you felt we did as leadership, not only just frontline staff. So communication is a big thing. Definitely a big thing.
I think what's so important about what you're saying, I think that some people see a business like Rush, and that is the goal, to have staff and hiring like that. And you think that it comes just instantaneously. But with what you're saying, there is such a big investment in making sure that you've hired the right person and the training. And this all takes time, and it's all a process of kind of molding and working together. And I love that you said I feel like you really include them in the process of finding their place within the business, rather than just putting them somewhere, making it about, okay, you get paid this much per month, suck it up and enjoy your job. You're really including them in the process of creating a job that works for them, and through incentives and programs. And the last thing that I want to touch on, something that you said, which I find really interesting, is that you want Rush to be a stepping stone for your staff and your trainers' future. And I think that is a really scary thing for a lot of businesses, because you kind of do want to keep them. If you feel like you are investing so much into training them, you want to continue using their resources. So that's an incredibly mature way to look at it. I think a way that your staff must be feeling that working there is really a personal investment. Can you talk a little bit about that, and how you are helping them use that as a stepping stone, either within the Rush franchise still, or you're encouraging them to move on? How does that process look, where they're really using you as an opportunity for personal investment?
I think that even though we've already established a good leadership team, we've already established a good frontline team, there isn't much more in between that. But I think that a lot of our trainings are based on not just how you can do well within our company or within our workspace, but also how you could take that out of it. So we do things like first aid training, we've got customer service training, we've even gone as far as doing safeguarding training. And safeguarding training is not just something that you do within a company, it's something that you take with you when, like, daily things that you can look at. What is somebody's body language? Is somebody in danger? How can I help? So kind of like a duty of care. I think that the worst thing is to be held in a space where you no longer feel like it's doing much for you. I'm doing the same thing daily. So giving them something new to look forward to all the time. And then also just adding to the experience of growth. A lot of people that even just apply to work at Rush, they are between the ages of 18 and 25. That's a very, I'm trying to think of the right word, but like you kind of building and planning on what you think your life would look like as you grow
your
older.
foundation.
Exactly, a foundation. So if we could communicate effectively, give them the training that they need, all the tools that they need, making sure that even if it's the first workplace that they work for, that we've kind of helped them on how a positive culture could look like, even if they move to a different workplace. And then, I don't know, working with that is a positive thing instead of leaving a place and being sad and unhappy about the fact that you left. You're leaving with life skills. That makes sense.
And I'm sure friendships and everything else that you guys stand for.
Family. Rush. Rush is a big family. We had a culture workshop recently with two of our directors, and we looked at culture, and a lot of us said that Rush is family. So you're not just working with people, you're getting to know people. And there's different cultures and age groups and walking through our doors all the time. So you need to be able to work with all of them, kind of understand them, have empathy and care and all of those things. So that's kind of what we try and do at Rush.
Amazing. Shamira, thank you. Thank you so much for your time today. And also just, yeah, everything that you've said, you really can feel when you walk into any of your Rush branches. You can feel that family vibe. You can feel that energy and that love and that passion from everyone. So it's really been valuable to chat to you, to know a little bit about the behind the scenes of what goes into fostering that, what you're calling is culture, and how important that is. So thank you very, very much for sharing with us today. And ladies, remember, and something also that you were talking about, Shamira, remember when you do go to Rush, leave those Google reviews. I know so many of us leave there and our hearts are full. We've had our coffee warm for the first time in ages because our children are looked after. They are safe, they are in good hands, and they are so entertained. Thank you so much just for the incredible work that you guys have done and everything that you are creating within your Rush franchise.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.